Hello friends and welcome back to the channel. If we haven't met yet, my name is Mark and on this channel I share ideas that can make our lives better. Now today I want to talk to you about a book that I absolutely love. It is my favorite goal setting and achieving book. This book has completely changed my process and my mindset around achieving and around setting goals. One of the things that I like most about this book is how practical and actionable this is. Most goal-setting books I find are great at hyping you up and selling you on the dream, but they lack in the actual actionable content and how you're about to achieve those goals and the process and the system that you need to apply. Well, this is where this book shines. If you are interested in goal setting, if you have been struggling with achieving your goals, this is a fantastic book about that topic. In this video, I'm going to be sharing 5 key takeaways from this book, but to tell you the truth, that will just be barely scratching the surface of all the great value the book has. I highly recommend you pick up a copy of this book for yourself and that you read it cover to cover, because the author does such a good job at really changing your mindset about how you approach goal setting and how you think about goal achieving. Anyway, with that in mind, I'm excited to jump right in. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let's begin with our 5 key takeaways from the 12-week year. The first takeaway from the book is that a year is just too long. As you can tell by the title of the book, the authors recommend that instead of focusing on goals for a year-long duration or longer, we switch it up and we focus on creating goals around a 12-week time frame. So why should we do this? Well, number one, when we have goals that last for a very long duration, such as a year, 2 years, 3 years, they are great for setting the big vision, but the problem is that they are very difficult to stay motivated and focused on. Imagine if you had a goal of losing weight over the period of 5 years. That duration is just too great in terms of maintaining your focus. If you wanted a snack, for example, it would be very difficult to tell yourself that, no, hold on, just wait 4 more years and we'll be there. But if you set a goal to lose weight in a 12-week period, well, it's much easier to convince yourself that, okay, I might not have this chocolate bar right now, but it's only going to be 10 more weeks that I have to do this, and after that, I can have it again. So 12 weeks not only helps actually make it easier for you to stay motivated and focused, it is excellent for creating a sense of urgency. It's excellent for really focusing your energies and pointing you in one direction. So the first takeaway is that we are going to switch our goal setting instead of yearly to 12 weeks. One additional idea about this that I wanted to mention is that 12 weeks is sort of the sweet spot. It is short enough so that we don't get distracted and so that we stay motivated, but it's also long enough so that we can achieve something meaningful in that time period. A week is just too short, a month is just too short, but in 12 weeks, there's really a lot that we can do and there's really a lot that we can create in our lives in that time period. So that's our takeaway number 1. Jumping right into takeaway number 2, a goal is not a goal unless it has an action plan attached to it. Otherwise, it's just a wish. And this is what I was talking about earlier. This is the biggest takeaway from this book, and the biggest reason why I like this book so much is it's so detailed, it's so actionable. It shows you exactly what you need to do from point A, B, C to achieve your goals. It's not just about setting them and then good luck, buddy. It actually helps you create a system around how to track your progress, around how to measure your progress towards your goals, and how to make sure that you stay on track for the whole 12 weeks. The ideas that this covers are there are just too many of them for me to cover in just short video. But some of the ideas that they talk about is listing out the exact action items for every goal and tracking them on a weekly basis. And they also talk about weekly reviews. This is a critical component for goals. One of the problems when we set goals is that we sort of write out what we want, we decide on it, and then we never look at it again. But what's important is that when you set goals, it's very important that we keep it on top of our mind. We want to make sure we keep it front and center so that all of our behaviors end up mapping to those goals. That way we can maintain our focus and our motivation much better than if we would just put them into a drawer and never look at them again. So that's takeaway number 2, that we need a process. We need to create a system and we need to create an action plan. Otherwise, a goal is nothing but a dream. Takeaway number 3, less is more. So for a long time, because of a lot of other books that I've read about goal setting, I used to set more goals. I used to set goals in all the different areas of my life, from fitness to finances to career to personal development to health and so on. And what they say in the 12-week year is that less is more. And this actually goes in line with 2 of my other favorite books on a little bit of a different topic, which are Essentialism and The One Thing, both of which stress the importance of reducing our focus for a short period of time so that we can make the most amount of progress possible. And that when we focus on too many things and too many goals at the same time, we're actually creating a competitive environment. We are pitting our goals for the same resources, for the same limited time and attention. We're making our goals compete for those limited resources, and they suffer because of it. This is why we get stretched too thin. This is why we lose focus and motivation, because we are just trying to take on too much. The beauty of the 12-week year is because the time period is a little bit shorter, you can do what's called be an intentional imbalance. You can choose to focus, what they recommend is 1 to 3 goals that will really change your life if you get them done, if you accomplish them. And by choosing these big goals, you can really create progress in certain areas of your life. Now, that means that for that duration of time, other areas of your life might be slightly out of balance. And that's okay as long as you make sure that you, number 1, maintain them at a base level. So if it's health or fitness, you still do your best to maintain them. But it's also good because after the 12 weeks, since it's such a short period of time, you can then refocus your attention on those other areas which might have not gotten your attention during the first 12 weeks. And so it's this approach of intentional imbalance, creating intentional imbalance for short periods of time and moving between one area to the other to the other. I think it was in Essentialism, the idea that balance is not a state. Balance is an act. And when we think about balancing our life, it's not this perfect Zen sort of picture. Balancing, what you should think about balancing, is a plate spinner. So you know those people who have the plates on a stick and they spin one here, they spin one here. Balance is an active process. So you are not in balance. You are constantly trying to balance. And I think keeping that mentality in mind is great, that you are, spinning this area of your life right now, and then you're spinning this area of your life right now, and you're juggling and you're balancing them. You're focusing on one piece at a time, but you're moving between the pieces. So that's our takeaway number 3, less is more. Moving right along to takeaway number 4, which is the importance of accountability. This can probably be the single thing that changes if you have a problem with procrastination, this can probably be the thing that helps you the most. The idea is that you set a weekly meeting with a friend who is also goal-oriented and driven and motivated, and you guys discuss what went well last week, what didn't go well last week, and what your plans are for the next week. You basically make a public commitment to your friend, and you are going to be held accountable for whatever you say that you're going to do. This is a great way to make sure that you actually do what you say you're going to do, because let me tell you, showing up, knowing that you have to show up on Friday to meet your accountability partner and you have not done what you said you're going to do is a crappy feeling. You will not want to be feeling it too often, especially if you choose wisely and your partner is someone who is very motivated and very dedicated themselves. You will just feel really bad about yourself and you will want to push and actually do the things you said you're going to do. Accountability is a great hack to pushing yourself and to increasing your productivity and to protecting yourself from procrastination. Choose a partner, meet on a weekly basis, and during the meetings, it's very simple. All you need to do is you need to say, okay, this is what I did last week. This is what I said I was going to do last week. Did I achieve it? Yes, no. And then what am I planning to do the week following? And when you meet the week after that, you do the same thing. You have a weekly review with them. And this fits very nicely with the weekly review that they mention in the 12-week year. In the book, they have an even more in-depth explanation of how to set up these accountability meetings and how to include them in the system for the productivity that's explained in the book. But that is our takeaway number 4. Make sure you choose an accountability partner, and that they can keep you accountable. Finally, we are at takeaway number 5. What gets measured gets improved. This, I feel like I say this about every single takeaway from this book, but this again was something that completely revolutionized my approach and my thinking around goals. What they recommend in the 12-week year is that you score your week. So what happens is you have a weekly review, and during your weekly review, you sit down and you look at all of the tasks that you were supposed to do during that week, which you have planned out previously for every single goal. And then what you do is you score how you did that week based on what you were supposed to do. If you did well, great. If you didn't do well, okay, you have a lower score. I found that this was excellent to keep me accountable to myself. So the previous point was about staying accountable to somebody else, but having to face the critical score week by week really makes you think about what you are doing during the week, and it really keeps you focused and honed in on what you should be doing, because you know that come Friday or Saturday or whenever you do your weekly review, you're going to face the actions that you said you're going to do, and you're going to have to face the score that you got for them. Did you achieve what you said you're going to do? Are you happy with how your week went? And the beauty of this strategy is that this allows you to see whether you are on track or off track to hitting your goal. I think one of the biggest problems that goal setting has, or when we are goal setting, is that we forget to track our progress. We forget to track whether we are taking the actions that will lead us to our goal. That's the problem with being so focused on just the end goal and not focusing on the system or process that will take you there. The system or the process are the things that you have to be doing on a daily basis that, if done right and if done consistently, will eventually lead you to your goal. So for example, if your goal is to grow a Twitter following, then every day you have perhaps the task of posting a certain number of tweets and of interacting with the Twitter community for a certain number of hours or whatever it may be. These are the actions. These are the lead indicators. You know that if you do 6 hours of community engagement and another 6 hours of tweeting in a week, that this should get you to your goal if done consistently. So making sure that you score how you did week by week on these critical, crucial actions will give you a really good idea of whether you are on track for your target or whether you are way off track. And the great news is, first of all, it's going to suck to know if you are off track, if you've been slacking off. But the great part is that you will be able to adjust and fix, and you will be able to change your approach if you see that what you're doing is not working. So this was the 5th and final takeaway from the book, The 12-Week Year. And the final takeaway was the importance of what gets measured gets improved. And that's it for our video for today. Now, today is actually the last day of 2020. Woo! Thank God. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for spending the time with me. I hope this has been valuable to you. I hope you have been enjoying my recent videos. As you may know, I'm on a content creation challenge for the next 12 weeks. I will be creating 6 videos per week on this YouTube channel. I'll also be creating 6 posts per week on Instagram, as well as on Twitter, as well as on my blog and my Medium account. So if you are interested in all of this, I would love for you to follow along this journey with me. The whole point is to share ideas that I come across in the books that I read and in the people who I listen to that can make our lives better. If this is something that is interesting to you, I highly recommend you subscribe to the channel below. And also while you're there, click that little notification bell so that you always get notified when I publish a new video. I think that the 12-week year is something that everyone who is driven, who is interested in goal achieving should read. So I highly recommend you get a copy. I've included the link in the description below so it's easier for you. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I wish you all the very best for 2021, and I'm excited to see you in the next video. By the way, just so that you know, if you're interested in the behind the scenes of how I film all of these videos and how I create the content, Instagram is the place to be. So make sure you follow me there at Mark Spuntav. Thank you all again so much for watching. Happy New Year. Tomorrow I'm going to take 1 day off, and then I'm going to be getting back into content production mode. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope to see you in the next video. Take care.